Plan A is what you always start with, but Plan B always needs to be ready. And it's always good to have Plan C and D warming up in the bullpen. Today's show is all about alternatives. We tried more than once to catch some very early morning striped bass on Lake Ouachita, and then we tried again. We also talk about mountain biking in Northeast Arkansas, plus your safety and hiking tips, all on this edition of Arkansas's Great Outdoors. Let's start this show how we hoped it would start. We heard there was an amazing striped bass bite on Lake Ouachita in Hot Springs. You had to be ready to go by 4:30 a.m., but it would be worth it. So I was up at 2 a.m. for the drive to Brady Mountain Ramp. I checked the weather before I left. It said no problem. The rain would be done by 4. Perfect timing. And I love it when a plan comes together. Or not. Somewhere between when I left North Little Rock and arrived just west of Hot Springs, the forecast changed a lot. It's one thing when it's raining a little bit longer than expected, but lightning and high winds, well, that's a game changer. We're here at the Brady Mountain Ramp and we were all set to go. We checked the forecast even 2 hours ago. It's 4 a.m. right now. 2 hours ago it said rain stops at 4, but then we looked at the radar and everything has changed. We got a bunch of lightning coming. Captain Ron, what are we going to do now?
I believe we're going to wait till another day to go.
That's right. Yeah, and that's what you have to do. You just got to. You have to be able to amend. Forecasts can change pretty drastically, but you don't want to be on the water in the lightning.
Yes, sir.
And so that's an important safety tip. So we're going to punt, and the next time you see us, now our bait's ready. The bait right here is ready to go. We are ready to catch some fish, but that bait will be ready here in a couple of days, and we're going to give it another shot then. So let's reset this event. Now we are looking at Plan B, which was 3 days later. Now we triple checked the forecast and all looked great, but we didn't realize that another variable in the sky would play a role. It's called a supermoon. Now the moon is on an elliptical orbit around the Earth, not circular. So when it's at its closest point to us, and that happens at the same time as a full moon, it's called a supermoon. Its gravitational pull is stronger, and if there are no clouds, it's brighter, and it does have an effect on the fish. Superstitions abound among anglers about fishing during a supermoon. After this show, you will probably agree with our take. All right, well, Captain, it's a little bit different today.
Yes, sir, the weather looks a lot better.
Yeah, we've got pretty much clear skies. You can see a few little clouds, no wind at all, but most importantly, no lightning. And so it's a very different weather pattern. But we do have a full moon out that's been out all night long, and sometimes those fish will feed all night long.
Really, to tell you the truth, I haven't fished during a supermoon.
Yeah. There's always a first time, and this early morning we had a hearty group of anglers hoping for glory. Okay, this is our crew today, and we've got Tian, Adrian, Captain Ron, and Jade. We're gonna go out, we're gonna fish just 2 poles at a time at first. Ron, tell us why we're doing that.
It seems like if you put too many poles out to get started with, it's hard to get them fired up at first. So,
now, Jade, we've got some special bait here today. This is very special bait.
It is. We've got a hybrid bait with us, a sterile bait, live bait, big bait. It's safe. It can be used in any lakes in Arkansas. It's approved by the Game and Fish. We're trying to get this product out on the market. We think it's something that can really help our local guides, our fishermen out there, and at the same time keep our waters in Arkansas safe by not moving fish. And
that's right.
So
that's a big deal.
A great product.
Yeah, because you know what's happened is a lot of our guides need some bait, and this has been specially developed by Bobby Glennon Fish Farms to be able to meet this need. So it's an opportunity that our farmers have. We've talked a lot on this show about the importance of the bait fish industry in Arkansas. 95% of all the farm-raised bait in the country comes out of 3 counties in Arkansas, and this is a new product that can go out and help these guides and help our fishermen catch more fish safely, protecting our waterways. Coming up, we will see the bait in action. But remember, we are only on plan B at this point. We have a few more plans to play out before we find any fish. And you saw how we started by not getting on the water during a lightning storm. That's an important safety tip. Let's bring in our friends at the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas for some more ways to enjoy the outdoors safely.
Hey everybody, I'm Trent Whitehead with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. I wanted to talk to you today about some boating safety. One of the things that's really important if you're going to be doing boating safety is attending one of our boaters education courses. It's a certification that's required for anyone born on or after January 1st, 1986. It's a really important course that teaches you all different kinds of things about boating safety. Okay, boating safety is something we really need. The rules of the road on the water, things that people don't think about that are really important when it comes to avoiding accidents. All kinds of information in that book. It's a good course, only takes about 6 hours to take, and it's free if you go to an instructor-led course.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The electric
This is very exciting. I've got Bobby Glennon here with us, and we're kind of blending three real neat things here. We've got great science, we've got business innovation, and we've got some really good fishing as a result of that. Tell us how this all came to be.
So a few years ago, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, who's responsible for managing the wild fisheries in the state of Arkansas, proposed and passed some regulations regarding the movement of live bait or bait that was caught from the wild. The major issue was live shad, which were being used mostly by striper guides, and most of those live shad were being caught on the Arkansas River. The Arkansas River is also home to silver carp and bighead carp, and there was a fear that in the process of capturing live wild-caught shad for the striper guide market, they would inadvertently capture young of the year silver carp and bighead carp, and those fish would accidentally be introduced into other water bodies in the state of Arkansas. So without that option, we had to come up with something we could raise on the farm that provided a safe alternative to wild-caught live shad. One of the problems, aside from the regulations with shad, is they don't handle very well in the summer. And so if you're a striper guide operating in the summer, if you can find them on Ouachita, they don't handle very well. So you spend a lot of your time catching bait instead of fishing with bait. If you try to go to the market to purchase a replacement, say golden shiners or goldfish, summertime is also very difficult to handle those species of fish. So there wasn't a good alternative to wild-caught shad, especially in the summer. And so we were looking for something we could make that was tough as nails and stripers would bite on. And so we have toyed with this for probably 5 years now, and I think we're on the right path. So we have a hybrid that uses naturally occurring species that are legal for bait, and they are tough. You can drag these wherever you want to in the middle of summer. And when we offered some to the striper guides to try in the summer, they were kind of surprised, you know, at the catch rate on these versus shad, and the fact that they could use these day after day after day in some instances, where a shad is a one and done situation if you can keep it alive on the boat in the first place. So we may be able to kill two birds with one stone here, just with the different breeding we can offer, and have a smaller striper size bait and a larger catfish size bait that does well in the summer, is functionally sterile, comes off of a health certified fish farm. It's a win-win, I think, for everyone involved. This is a pet project I'm proud of.
That's good. We've seen what happens on some of the Tennessee Valley rivers when they've gotten invaded by the Asian carp. and that's actually dangerous. I mean, it's not only bad for the fishing, it's dangerous because those guys come up out of the water and can injure fishermen. We had it happen on one of our shows years ago. A fish jumped up. So it can happen. It's worthwhile to protect our waterways. Healthy, hearty, and safe. That's what we do right here.
That's our mission.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and Bobby Glennon Fish Farms are finding a way to help anglers catch more fish in a way that is safe for our waterways by not bringing in any invasive species. Now, when we come back, we will rejoin the quest for striped bass in a supermoon, and we've also got the northeast part of Arkansas gearing up for biking, mountain, road, and graveling, which is gaining popularity all over the state.
So whether you're hiking in warm weather or cool weather, layering is your friend. And so the three main layers are your base layer, which is going to be moisture wicking, helps you pull that sweat off of you. It's very quick drying, and it will also help retain heat if you are traveling in the cooler weather. Next is going to be your mid layer, and that's going to help you whether you're in the summertime and it protects you from the sun, or it's going to be maybe a light jacket too in the winter time. And then your third layer, your outer shell, is going to be something that is going to be wind protectant, or it's going to be maybe a hard shell like a rain jacket or snow jacket that will really insulate you and keep you protected from the elements.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
Where haven't we gone? What hasn't been done? What's still left to be discovered and possible beyond the horizon? How can we continue pushing limits, breaking boundaries, and leading the way? At Bad Boy, it's not just about finding the answers. It's about the pursuit. Bad Boy, Mo.
Let's get back to the water and our several attempts to catch these striped bass early in the morning. Now, the normal strategy is to catch them well before the sun comes up. Something about the light puts a stop to the bite. And we found that the sun is not the only thing putting up light.
The reason it's a supermoon is because the moon doesn't follow a circular orbit around the Earth. It's sort of elliptical. And when you get a supermoon, it's just that the moon's a little bit closer in its natural orbit.
As you can tell, Tian is from Lone Oak, Arkansas. And that accent is pure Lone Oak right there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So where are you from?
So I'm from South Africa. Myself and Ojan over there, and we've actually got a bunch of guys that are working for Bobby at the moment on the Glennon Fish Farm.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, having a good time.
We had the South African bass team come to Arkansas and fish Lake Hamilton, not too far away from where we are right now, and they competed very well internationally against some of the top bass teams in the world. And there's a lot of good fishing coming out of South Africa and a lot of good fishermen coming out of South
Definitely,
Africa.
definitely. Yeah, we had bass introduced, I think, into South Africa. I think it was in the 60s for sports fishing.
Okay.
And since then it's just sort of taken off.
Yeah. What made you want to come to Arkansas?
So, like I said, I studied marine biology. I was actually previously farming on citrus and orchard farming, pecans and everything. And then when I saw the opportunity to come and work on a fish farm, I thought, well, you know, that's sort of two birds with one stone.
Yeah. And there's quite a few of you that are working for Bobby Glennon Farms right now.
Yes, at the moment we're 9 that are working on the farm. Yeah. Guys are enjoying it. And Bobby's a nice guy, so it's nice working for him as well.
Well, a lot of innovative things are happening there too, so you're able to learn quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It's 2 boats out on the water. We're about 50 yards from each other. It became apparent that our worst fears about a supermoon were coming true. Perhaps those fish had been feeding all night in the bright moonlight. They were full and they weren't even in the restaurant. So the sun is coming up and it's time now for Plan C. We put out some planer boards, which are like bobbers with a sense of direction. They trail behind the boat as you troll and spread out, allowing you to cover more water in search of the fish. But let's spare you the drama here. Plan C didn't turn out. We got one bite, saw a beautiful portion of Lake Ouachita in the early morning sun, but just like a quarterback in the pocket checking off receivers, we needed to keep looking. Back to where we started, and finally, proof of fish. Adrian, also from South Africa, landed our first. This is a beautiful striped bass that was, supermoon or not, ready for that super bait. Okay, here we go. Moments later, Tian gets some action on the light line. Got to play him for a while.
Yeah, it would seem that way.
Yeah. When you got 20-pound on, you can horse him a little bit.
Yeah. With this, I'm not going to bully him around at all.
Yeah. We'll let him dictate the pace and just slowly wear him out.
Yep.
Any idea on how big he feels?
Well, not too sure. I've got some color now. But I think we'll find out shortly.
There we go. There we are. That's a nice one.
Nice, thanks.
Very good on 8-pound test line.
8-pound test line, the best live bait there is.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
And just like that, we felt like anglers. Well, in fishing, you have a plan A, a plan B. Sometimes you get down to C and D. And we ended up finding some fish, and plan D worked. We got a few.
We got a few, yes.
Yeah,
we
a
sure
couple,
did.
couple of really nice stripers. Even got a catfish in there. So, so we always say every time you go out fishing, you learn something. What do you think we learned today?
Should have been here yesterday.
Sometimes that's the big lesson, or maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, we had a very clear sky all night long with a big bright moon, brighter than normal, and that's what we call that super moon or blue moon. And sometimes that'll affect things, and so we had to adjust. We didn't think we were going to be here past sunrise.
No, sir, we sure didn't.
But all of our fish were caught after sunrise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock, I think.
When we come back, we travel to Jonesboro to see how the northeast corner of the state is also gearing up for cycling. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
It's the best riding boat, best handling boat I think I've ever been in.
Whole shot's amazing. 200 Merc, right up on plane, beyond impressed. You'd never know you're in a tin boat.
Everybody wants to look at a Vexus when you go by.
This is my 2080 aluminum. This is not your grandpa's old aluminum boat. This is a state-of-the-art, custom-built, performance hull. This thing is awesome.
A lot of our customers are guys that are sitting in a takeoff every Saturday morning and using their AVX as a platform to go win some serious money.
We've really focused on getting that hull shape where it needs to be for performance, also for stability.
You're not going to have any trouble with big waves. I've had this in 3.5 and 4 footers out on Kerr, and I've felt just as safe in the 189 model as I have the bigger glass models.
Got a wide deck, it's very stable up front, you're not going to get the rock from side to side. The interior of the boat is laid out with room to fish, but it's stable, deep storage boxes. The list goes on and on and on of the different innovations that we have put into these boats.
This is not your grandfather's aluminum boat when it comes to taking care of fish after the catch and making sure you get to that weigh-in with 5 healthy fish.
You really want to get back in some skinny water that nobody else is willing to attempt to get. That's the beauty of using our aluminum boats in a tournament situation.
I love the 2080 because I love fishing shallow waters, and I'm just the knucklehead that'll get as shallow as I can.
The Vexus product has advanced so much that I would dare
dare say that there'll be more and more aluminum product in tournaments as the time goes on.
When Vexus came out with this particular aluminum boat, I knew then it was going to be a winner.
Bravo. I think the team's done a great job.
The northwest part of the state is nationally known for its strong commitment to biking. Trails abound and new ones seem to pop up all the time. But over in the northeast corner, there is also a passion for cycling, and it's gaining steam as well.
We're here with Charles at Gearhead in Jonesboro. Charles, biking has grown so much in Arkansas. Will you tell us about the trails here in northeast Arkansas?
So here in town, we have Craighead Forest. It's a man-made lake and like the surrounding forest area. There's a walking path, there's 3 or 4 playgrounds.
Beautiful.
It's been there for decades, it's wonderful. In the past, I don't want to misspeak too much, but at least in the past 2 years, there have been massive developments out at Craighead Forest Park with the trail system, and it's fantastic.
You mentioned you're not really into mountain biking. There's mountain biking, there's road biking.
Sure.
But there's a hybrid, right? Is it gravel?
Absolutely, and kind of like something that I catch myself saying all the time is county roads. And
I heard you say that, yes.
So yeah, we have tons of county roads in the state of Arkansas. If you don't know bicycles, chances are you still know a county road. And I think that's an easy, approachable look to the gravel world for like Arkansans at least.
Right.
In as much as we all know what the county road looks like, we can appreciate that. And that's what gravel is to me. It's just getting out on the same, or well, on a similar road to a paved road. You're wide open, you've got a nice space. There's just less automobiles on the county roads. So I think
Amen to that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a big draw for a lot of us. It's just, it's nice.
Right, that resonates with me. I grew up on a farm, and that is where I rode, was on gravel roads.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think
many
I had
of
the
us,
right
I
bike
think.
for it,
Yeah, you're probably underbiked at the time, but that's part of the fun as a kid.
What's the difference in a gravel bike as opposed to the other two?
Sure. So like if we were to take a gravel bike and a road bike, a lot of us from 10, 15 feet away would kind of have trouble making a distinction between the two.
So they look like the road bikes?
Yeah, absolutely. What we refer to as like a drop handlebar. It's that traditional ram horn style road bar that we're all fairly familiar with seeing. That's not necessary to be on a gravel bike, but just 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 times the gravel bike's gonna have that same type of drop bar handlebar. Once we get closer and kind of like are able to really take in the details, it has clearance for a bigger tire than a road bike would. And then like some of the features of the geometry are going to be different. Like it's more comfort oriented than a traditional road bike.
Maybe more forgiving shocks?
So yeah, like even the way they position the rider on the frame is, like you said, you want it to be as forgiving as possible because those county roads can be a little rough.
Where are the best places to ride gravel?
That's a great question. We have a lot of resources in the great state of Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas has tons of awesome stuff. So do we in NEA. We want everyone to know that we have good gravel here too, good trails. And just to say, Bike Arkansas is a free publication. You can pick it up at a shop like Gearhead. Probably really any shop across Arkansas should have these. Like I say, it's a free, I think it's bi-monthly publication, but every one of them towards the back, they've got a rundown of about 3 or 4 months, and it's gonna have, I don't wanna say every event in Arkansas, but it's certainly gonna have a whole heck of a lot of them.
Arkansas is truly a national biking destination as people from all over the country are coming to the natural state to enjoy what we have to offer. As more places across Arkansas embrace cycling, the critical mass means more business and more opportunity right here in the land of opportunity. We thank you for watching today. Not only did you get to see how biking is reaching other parts of the state, you got to see how a perfectly planned fishing trip can be set and reset a couple of times before we finally find success. But we did find it and told a great story of our Arkansas fish farmer, Bobby Glennon, who created a safe bait to help catch more fish at the same time protecting our Arkansas waterways. As always, we thank you for watching and look forward to seeing you next week somewhere in Arkansas's great outdoors.